Hey, good afternoon, Facebook friends. Hey, I wanted to put a message out there today about baby food. When I was raising my kids and they were little, and of course, I'm still raising my kids, they're just at a different state, but I was kind of taught that old mantra of feeding our kids rice cereal or oatmeal or whatever it is. And I did not breastfeed my kids for very long because I was a home health PT and I couldn't go back to Ethel's back bedroom and with her 14 cats and, pump. So my kids got formula. And then whenever they got to be about 4 months old, we started giving them rice cereal. And, that wasn't necessarily good now that I realized that I was feeding the bad guys in their guts, and I really wasn't giving them the brain food that they needed. And so this is just that misconception is still out there that when we start babies on food, the first thing we should start them on is rice cereal. And you are basically training your babies to like carbohydrates. You are training your babies to, there's that gut-brain connection. I did that backwards, but the gut-brain connection, and you are metabolically training them to like sugary type foods. And so many people have picky kids, right? And so that's a problem, and they don't like fruits and vegetables. Well, guess what? When you started them off on those carbohydrate-based foods when they were babies, you were training them to like sugary type foods. So really, what should we do with our babies? Well, we need to feed them fatty foods to feed their brain. Okay, their brains are developing very quickly. We know this because they're learning a lot. They're learning how to talk. They're learning how to hide instance and learning how to do all of this stuff, how to interact with us. We need to feed them fatty foods like avocado and pumpkin and squash and wild salmon. I know that seems weird that we would feed our little babies wild salmon, but they need those healthy omega-3s, right? And so it's so important. The other thing that we recommend for people is that you open up the vegetable Juice Plus capsule, and you can either put it directly on the baby's tongue or you can put it into their baby food. And then think about it. They are getting, 10 different vegetables to start to train their brain to like vegetables. And then, once you get that into their system, then you add in the fruit capsule. And then you add in the berry. And how cool is that you're training your child's brain when that goes on their tongue to like fruits and vegetables. And those kids end up being the least picky kids you can imagine. And they don't crave that sugary food. They crave, fruits and vegetables, foods that their body is meant to eat, the foods that God gave us to truly nourish our body. And so that's really powerful. And as a parent, I wish I would have had that. I know that my kids would not have been as sick as they were, but I know that God also had a plan for me, and I needed that story to be able to, really relate with people because my kids were sick. Two of them especially were sick all the time. But I don't want your kids to be sick, and I want them to have you to be able to feed their brain and feed their bodies so that they can try to avoid sickness as much as possible. So we need to feed them brain food, avocados, salmon, blueberries, all of this stuff. And then once they're old enough, we feed them a wide variety of fruits and vegetables, nuts, all of that stuff once they're old enough. And then we'll have healthy kids as much as possible, as much as we can control. So no more rice cereal. It's gross. It's not beneficial for them. Let's go for real healthy foods, and let's start using those, like Dr. Sears would say, sprinkles on their tongue to help train their brain to like fruits and vegetables. All right, love you guys.